want some sauce?
Scene 1, Apple, take 1.
What is inside this aluminum foil? The mysterious sandwich called the cheksangeso. This sandwich right here weighs probably 2.5 pounds, maybe 3 pounds. This is a man sandwich. This is a cheksangeso. And you may wonder, what in the hell does a cheksangeso mean? Well, I'll try to tell you the story as fast as I can so it doesn't bore you, and then we can get into the actual making of the sandwich. My nephew ended up spending some time with me out here in San Diego for a while. Little did he know that I was an FX fan. A K-pop group originally consisting of 5 members, but one of them ended up leaving. In FX's repertoire of songs, they have a song that's called Hot Summer. Now within that song, Victoria's song ends up having the lyrics of cheksangeso. He asked me, what does cheksangeso mean? I said, from your desk. A lot of K-pop lyrics don't translate well to English. We thought it would be funny if somebody claimed that they could speak Korean, but the only thing that they could say was cheksangeso. So everything was cheksangeso this, cheksangeso that. Hey, what would you like to have for dinner? Cheksangeso. What kind of car is that? Cheksangeso. Could you tell me where the airport is? Cheksangeso. Cheksange meaning desk, isa meaning from. But soon we started using it to insult one another. Cheksangeso, mother. Or I'd say, cheksangeso. Sometimes we'll just text each other back and forth. Cheksangeso, fool. But when you end up having something like that, it enters your life that you can share with your nephew or a loved one, you definitely should be making a sandwich in honor of it. And that's why, in the aluminum foil, is the cheksangeso. With that being said, my nephew also is a huge sandwich lover. The dude is addicted to sandwiches. So out of all the meals that I was going to end up having to name this after, it would have to be a sandwich. So if you want to see the cheksangeso, stay tuned. So what we're going to do is we're going to fry up our bacon here, which won't take long. And we're going to save that bacon fat. When it gets to a point like this, you can take it out, because if not, it's going to overcook. But this will continue cooking a little bit and it'll be crispy. But now we end up having our bacon fat. And what we're going to do with the bacon fat is I've got some yellow onion here, and I want to caramelize some of these yellow onions. We're going to be putting a little bit of black pepper on these. I'm going to be putting a little bit of dried thyme in the onions, because along with these onions that we're going to start cooking up and caramelizing, as soon as they get a little bit more cooked, we're going to throw in some mushrooms. Now there's going to be a bunch of deli meats as well as the bacon and stuff that has salt. So we don't need to be adding a lot of salt, but we will add just a little bit, okay? I'm going to be adding a little bit of chicken broth to this. That will go into the mushrooms. A little bit of Parmesan cheese. We're going to let some of that liquid from the chicken broth disappear. It'll evaporate, some will absorb inside the mushrooms, and then we're going to let these guys kind of caramelize up a little bit, let some of that liquid leave. So during the time that that stuff is cooking, what we can go ahead and do is kind of start preparing our meat. So what we're going to do is we're just going to end up taking five slices, and we're just going to kind of build upon that. The first meat that I had laid down was ham. This one right here is salami. This is turkey breast, but you can use chicken breast. You might think that I'm crazy, but we're putting bologna. This is all beef bologna, by the way. And on top, we're going to end up putting some pepperoni. Right here I have one of my whole wheat rolls that I had made for my pastrami sandwich. If you want to see how I made the whole wheat rolls, and you can also make just regular rolls like this, just change up the flour type. I'll put a link in the description. But what I want to do now is I want to cut down this guy. And now we're just going to end up picking up the meat, and we're going to be putting it on the bottom part of the bread. It should all kind of just stay together. Yeah, it looks like the ham kind of shifted a little bit right there. Let's remove this. Let's move this bun out of the way, the top of it. We're going to end up just putting one strip of bacon all the way down this. Swiss cheese, provolone. So now what we're going to do is, with it being the way that it is, we're going to take this, we're going to put it in the oven under the broiler and we're going to let the broiler just melt this and just put all this stuff together and let some of those fats and stuff and some of the things like the salami and the pepperoni just kind of start running into the bread. What I've done is I went ahead and I've just put it on a baking sheet, and I'm going to put the top part of the bread right here, and I'm going to put that inside there as well, so this will get toasted. Sometimes there's a little too much bread, and if there is, what you do is you just end up kind of scooping it out like this, so that way down the center there's not a whole lot. So let's put this under the broiler. While that's going on, we're going to grab a tomato and we're going to grab a pepper, and we're going to be cutting these guys up. We want the peppers to be thin. From here, we've got this all toasted and looking good in the neighborhood. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and put down our tomato. We can put down a little bell pepper. I'm going to put a little olives up here. I'm going to put some chopped iceberg lettuce, some sweet white onion. And there's one thing that you should always think about during the time that you're making a sandwich, and that's essentially you've got meat and a salad. There's a salad on top of the sandwich, right? So this is why a lot of times you end up having a sandwich that ends up using a salad dressing. And we're going to end up making our own little salad dressing. But up here on top, this is where we're going to be putting our mushrooms and our onions. And I know you're thinking, well, how are you going to keep that stuff up inside there? Cheese. Because by putting cheese over this and letting it melt, it's going to end up almost acting like glue. This goes back into the oven, but under a much lower temperature. We don't really want to toast it, we just want to melt it. While that's melting, I'm going to be putting on some homemade bread and butter pickles. Put that back. A little bit of black pepper. A little bit of oregano. Just kind of move this to the side for a second so you can see what I'm doing for the dressing here. I'm going to be adding a little bit of mayo, mustard, a little bit of red wine vinegar, touch of olive oil, a little bit of crushed oregano, touch of garlic powder, touch of basil, black pepper, dash of hot sauce. What we're looking for is basically like a mayonnaise and mustard base with just a touch of a little bit of an Italian vinaigrette. And it's going to take a little bit for those flavors to develop in there. Those herbs are not going to really do their job for at least an hour. The only thing that I think this needs is a little bit more mustard. Once again, we got the sandwich. We're just going to end up putting a little bit of this dressing up on top. Like, we want a hint. We don't want to drench it, you know what I mean? But in every bite you should taste a little bit of it. And there we go, guys. And that's what I call the cheksangeso. That's too much sandwich for anybody. But for sandwich lovers, that right there is going to knock their socks off. Some of you guys might like a little bit more dressing than others. Some of you guys might like extra mayo, all that other good stuff. Hey, you do whatever you want. At the end of the day, you're the one that's eating it. Check that out. But the one thing that all sandwiches like this should have are pepperoncinis. But instead of cutting them up and putting them on the sandwich, we'll just put a couple right here. When I was younger, I hated pepperoncinis. Now I like them.
Oh my god, babe, I cannot eat all that. Oh my gosh, that is...
And if you want more of like the mustard sauce, let me know.
Oh my god, honey, this is... How am I going to get this over? This is way too big. Look at that. My hands are like... Oh my gosh. Babe, this weighs like 10 pounds. Oh my god, this is heavy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh.
I told Hunter it weighs probably almost 3
How
pounds.
do you expect me to bite into the... Oh my god. Nothing I can do. I can barely get my mouth. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. It's a sandwich that's going to keep you fed for a week. Cheksangeso.
I hope it doesn't get soggy.
It won't. But it won't get soggy because all of the things that can make it soggy are between cheese.
Okay, you're going to have to wrap this one.
That's fine.
Oh, I probably could take a few more bites. Yeah, maybe that much because... Okay, that's all I'm going to be able to handle for now. Oh my god. Okay, this is like as much stuff in this little piece as some places that's how much I put in a half a sandwich or a full sandwich. Even Hunter wouldn't be able to finish this whole thing, entire thing. Well, I don't think Hunter would be able to. He might. I think he'd be able to finish half.
I don't even think he'd be able to do that. At the end of the day, he doesn't have the cheksangeso for it. Hunter didn't believe me when I said the thing weighs about 3 pounds.
No, it's heavy. It does weigh. It is heavy. I mean, just that half I picked up, it's heavy. I can use this as a dumbbell to exercise. It is. It's like, it's more than 3 pounds, it feels like it to me.
Maybe.
I like the bread. It's good.
The bread?
The spread.
Oh, the sauce?
The sauce, I mean. I just tasted a really good part of it.
Well, I didn't put a lot on there, but I left it in the refrigerator because I didn't know if you'd want more.
I like that. That's actually good. I was hungry earlier, but...
Well, cheksangeso. Anyway, guys, that is that. Hopefully you liked that. And until next time, talk to you later.